Hello and welcome back to Take a Knee with Mike and JD. I'm JD.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're going to be picking Week 8 of the 2022 NFL season. Before we get started, last week we ended up in a tie. So we were at 40, 37, and 1 apiece. And Mike had a better week than me last week. He picked three games better than me. So he's currently sitting at 49, 42, and 1, and I'm at 46, 45, and 1. So he got a little bit of a lead back after blowing a huge lead. So I'm sure he's feeling a little bit better about it now.
little bit better this week.
Yeah, hey, we still got more than half the season to go, so we'll see.
Absolutely.
So speaking of which, our game, which is actually starting here in just a little bit, is the Baltimore Ravens at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, look, I'm taking the Ravens. Like the Bucks are not, they're not playing well. I just feel like the Ravens are going. I say it, like, I'm not confident when I say it, but I just don't see the Bucks winning. How about yourself?
Well, I meant to look it up because as I was at work today, I thought, had Tom Brady ever lost 3 consecutive games? And I'd be very interested to see how many games he's ever lost in a row, because you never think of him ever losing a game. They're currently favorited by 2 points, the Buccaneers. I would imagine that's most likely because they are at home. Typically, the home team gets like a couple points on their spread. Looking at the Ravens, they've really only beaten bad teams. I mean, they did beat the Jets, and the Jets are having a really good year after they got beat. They blew the game to the Dolphins. They overpowered the Patriots, which the Patriots are a team that's kind of up in the air. I don't really think the Patriots are a great team. But, they lose to the Bills. They lose to the Giants. They're kind of they're 4-3 right now. So just because it's Tom Brady and they're playing at home, I'm going to take Tampa Bay in this one. Even though I'm not very confident in Tampa Bay right now, I just can't see Tom Brady coming out and losing a third straight game. Even though their offense really isn't working right now, I think that he's the type of quarterback that would put the work in to try and correct that. So I'm going to go Tampa.
Yeah, righto. Our next game is the Denver Broncos at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, Jacksonville's actually favored by 2.5 points, and that's actually surprising, only because Denver was favored last week, if you remember, against the Jets for some reason.
Yeah,
they were favored. Let me pull this up here. They were favored by 3 points against the Jets, which I don't know how you could look at both those teams at how they were playing and favored the Broncos. So, Jacksonville barely lost last week. They are 2-5, but I'm going to take Jacksonville. I don't have any confidence right now in Denver until they sort of prove me wrong. So I'm going Jacksonville.
I'm the same. I've got no confidence in the Broncos. And look, if the Broncos were at home, I would still probably take Jacksonville in this one. So given that Jacksonville are at home, I'm 100% taking them.
All right, our next game is the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons.
Look, in spite of the Panthers upsetting the Bucks last week, I'm still gonna stick with the Falcons. Given they're at home, and Panthers have just recently traded away their best player. So they're not in a win this year mode. So yeah, I think the Falcons will come over the top of them.
Yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta too. I think Atlanta's a better team than the Panthers right now. They've obviously played a lot better this season. Atlanta's favored by 4.5 points. They're playing at home, so I'm also going to take Atlanta in this one.
Yeah. So our next game is the Chicago Bears at Dallas Cowboys.
So Dallas is favored by a lot at 9.5 points, but it's funny, you look at the first game that they had Dak in the season, they didn't play very well against Tampa Bay, and then he came back last week and didn't really play that great. You know, they got the win against Detroit, but he just kind of didn't look great. And Chicago came off a beating of New England on Monday Night Football. But playing at home, I still think Dallas, they have a pretty good defense, so I think that they'll give... I think they have a better defense than New England, so I'm going to give this one to Dallas. I think they'll give Justin Fields a little bit too much that he can handle.
I'm the same. I think Dallas win pretty comfortably here. You know, Dallas play like the Bears played much better than I thought they could, but I feel like that was a bit of a anomaly there. So the Cowboys pretty comfortably, I think.
All right. So the next game after that is the Miami Dolphins at the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Dolphins in this one, even though the Lions are at home. I think, you know, they're just going to be too good for them.
Yeah, you know, Detroit does definitely play. They're a team that plays a lot better at home. You know, their record isn't very good. They've had good games and bad games this year, but, you know, you can see how much better Miami is with Tua at quarterback, even though neither team scored any points on Sunday Night Football. But you can see those first couple of drives with Tua that he can move this fast-paced offense better than like a Teddy Bridgewater can, because Tua can get like throws out and stuff like that. So I'll take Miami in this one. I think it'll be a closer game than some people think, but I'll think they'll sneak the win out here in Detroit.
Our next game is the Arizona Cardinals at Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota, you know, they're one of the better teams in the NFC right now. They have a pretty sizable lead in their division. Arizona's been kind of a coin flip all year, but I think Minnesota at home, they're really chugging along here, so I'll take the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm the same. Minnesota at home, coming off the bye. You know, too many things in there.
I'm sure it pains you to say that.
Absolutely, but you know, there's no point even worrying about the other teams in our division at the moment. Like we need to figure out a way to win it all.
Right. All right. So the next one is the Las Vegas Raiders at the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, the Saints being at home, I'm taking them. I don't think the Raiders are a good team whatsoever. I mean, I don't think the Saints are a great team either, but they're at home. Yeah, I'm taking them by a score.
Yeah, Vegas is favored on the road right now, but only by 1.5 points. So this game kind of is a toss-up. You know, even though, as we say, Derek Carr is a Hall of Fame quarterback, I'll have to take New Orleans in this one.
Yeah. All right. So our next game is the New England Patriots at the New York Jets.
You know, you think at one point that the Jets will probably stop winning, but, you know, the Patriots are going back to Mac Jones, who has struggled at times this season. The Jets have a pretty good defense. They sort of have the momentum, even though the Patriots are favored by 2.5 points right now on the road against the Jets. I think I'm just going to have to still roll with the Jets until they lose. I think they're playing too well right now, especially to come back and beat the Patriots, you know, a team that has stomped them for 20 years. I think this would be a big win for them to get, so I'll go with the Jets.
I'm the same. I'm going with the Jets. I think, you know, they've got to, you know, they deserve to kind of take the momentum in. I don't know what to expect with the Patriots, but I think with the way the Jets are playing after, you know, having so many years of not playing well at all, but they must be riding this momentum with the opportunity to get the win over the Patriots. Like, they've got to be right up for it. I mean, you know, losing Breece Hall is going to hurt, but I don't think hurt enough to lose this one.
They did trade and got a running back after Hall went down, so you would hope that doesn't slow them down too much. But Yeah. As we both said, I think the Jets win this one. So the last 1:00 game is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles. The Eagles just look a step above everyone at the moment. Playing at home against, not a very good team at the moment. So yeah, Eagles pretty comfortably.
The Eagles are 11-point favorites, but that's not the biggest favorites this week. We'll get to that one a little later. I'm going to take Philadelphia, which means that Pittsburgh probably will win because every time I pick them, they lose, and every time I don't pick them, they win. So, but I'll go with Philly. The only way that I see the Steelers winning is if they fucking somehow get rid of Canada running the offense, and Philadelphia looks sloppy coming off a bye. But I'll go with Philadelphia on this one.
So next up, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans.
Yeah, Tennessee. I don't really have much else to say. I think Tennessee is a better team. They are on a road, and Houston has played some of their games pretty close, but I'm going to say Tennessee takes this one.
Yep, I agree with that as well. 100%.
All right. Our next game is the Washington Commanders at the Indianapolis Colts.
So, look, I'm actually going to take the Commanders. I think it'll be a close game. Maybe it's because they beat us, and it would be nice if they go on. If the team that beat you wins the next week, you feel a little bit better. Like, oh, maybe they're a better team than I thought they were going in. But yeah, I'll take the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean Indianapolis is sitting Matt Ryan, so if another quarterback comes in, will he play as well? Indianapolis still favored. They are playing at home. I'm going to go with Indy in this one. But I get your point in that you would hope that the Commanders will show that they are a better team by continuing to win, but it will sting a little bit more if they actually lose when they're supposed to instead of winning when they're not supposed to.
Our next game is the San Francisco 49ers at Los Angeles.
I'll take San Francisco. We keep giving the Rams credit, that we think that they're, a better team than they are, but they just haven't played very well. They are at home. San Francisco is only favored right now by 1.5 points, but I'm gonna stick with San Francisco. I think that they're playing better and are a better team at this current point.
I'm going the same. I think you keep expecting, coming off the Super Bowl, you keep thinking the Rams are going to turn it around, but it doesn't seem to be their year. I think the 49ers are a better team that added one of the best running backs in the competition recently. And Kyle Shanahan has a really good success rate over Sean McVay. So, yep, 49ers for me without a doubt.
Cool. So next we have the New York Giants traveling to meet the Seattle Seahawks.
Look, I'm taking the Giants. Even though the Seahawks are at home, I still am not sure what to make of the Seahawks. And this is one of those games where I could completely see the Seahawks winning and then looking back and going, well, why did I pick the Giants? That was a ridiculous decision. But having said all that, I'm going to stick with the Giants.
Seattle is favorited right now, even though the Giants do have one of the better records in the league. They probably should have lost last week against Jacksonville. They did come back and win, and then they stopped Jacksonville basically at the goal line to win the game with no seconds left, no time left. But my gut is telling me to roll with Seattle because I think they're sort of the surprise team of the year. They get rid of Russell Wilson, and they have more wins than Russell Wilson, and they're playing a lot better than Russell Wilson right now. So I'm gonna roll with Seattle in this one.
And that's it for the games this week, guys. So damn it. So next we have the Green Bay Packers at the Buffalo Bills.
So how earlier how I said the Pittsburgh and Philadelphia game had an 11-point favorited Philadelphia.
Yes, that was only where you're going.
That was only the second most. That was only the second highest spread. The Buffalo Bills are 11.5-point favorites over the Green Bay Packers, and that's where I'm gonna stick with. Give me Buffalo on this one, baby.
Yep, I think we're going to be demolished, and I really don't want to talk about it anymore. So, what's our next game?
Did you pick Green Bay?
No, fuck no.
Oh, it sounded like you said that.
I said I think we're going to be demolished.
Oh, I thought you said I think we're going to beat them. That's what I thought you said.
No. I think there is more chance of me lining up a quarterback than us beating the Bills. Next game, please.
You got it. So our last game of the week is Monday night, which is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I've gone the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow probably has a decent game here. I just don't see the Browns having any chance here.
The big news, and I don't know if you saw it this morning, is that Jamar Chase is out at 4 to 6 weeks right now. So
I did not see that.
Yeah, so he is out right now. So that's a big target that Cleveland does not have to worry about. So they are since he's still favored by three points, but Cleveland played Buffalo pretty well without Chase. I'm gonna go with Cleveland in this one.
Yeah, so look, had I been aware that Jamar Chase was out, I would have picked the Browns. But I always have a philosophy of I never change a pick in anything once I've made it. So I'm going to stick with the Bengals. But yeah, I'm a lot less confident now.
So outside that, the only two teams on a bye this week, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers, are on a bye this week. So those are our picks for Week 8 of the 2022 NFL season. Please let us know your picks in the comments. As always, if you haven't subscribed, please consider, and please consider liking this video. Again, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a nice day.